Okay, can we see it as a whole entire screen now?
Yes.
Ooh, okay, thank you. All right, so get this prepared. So welcome everyone to the interviewing skills workshop. You have here the director, Mr. Hardy, me, Miss Porch, your retention specialist, and your student development advisor, Miss Laura Zolikoff. So we're going to go ahead right into it. So interviewing, what is it? Interviewing is a structured meeting between you and an employer. Interviewing is a skill like riding your bike, meaning practice makes perfect. Interviewing is a two-way street. Employers are attempting to determine if you are appropriate fit for the job. Appropriate fit for the job and their culture. And also you decide if the environment is right for you. That's why it's a two-way street. They're trying to figure you out and you're trying to figure if it's the best fit for you as well. So you have different types of interviews. You have a phone interview. This is used as an initial screen of candidates or to narrow the pool of applicants. You have a one-on-one interview. These are most common interview styles, and it incorporates you with the potential employer. Then you have a panel or group. This allows many individuals to interview you at once. You have a meal interview. This is used to see how you interact or function in a social setting. And you have a second or on-site interview. This allows one to get a tour of the facility, meet the staff, and additional questioning from different employers and or administration. Then you have a pre-interview preparation. This is for you. Always research the position you applied for, the company you applied for, and the industry. Know yourself and be able to articulate skills, strengths, accomplishments, and career goals. Prepare necessary materials, copies of your resume, references, a portfolio, a pen, notepad, or organizer, and breath mints. You can't go wrong with breath mints. And then ask for directions and where to park. Sometimes HR might get in touch with you and they might tell you where to park and exactly give you directions, but it's always great if they don't have that information for you, you can always ask. And then arriving. Be sure to allow yourself plenty of time to arrive at your destination. You may want to conduct a dry run prior to your interview day. We now are blessed with Google Maps. So you can sometimes Google to see the distance between you and the potential job. However, it will not hurt you to also actually get in the vehicle if you have one and drive there yourself to see, because the map can say 5 minutes, but the stoplight makes it 10. Try to arrive 10 to 15 minutes early at the site to allow you to park, walk to the interview, use the restroom, or just gather yourself. Please don't arrive 20, 30, or an hour early. Always 10 to 15 minutes to allow yourself, again, to park, walk, use the restroom, and then just get yourself together because everyone's nervous. Greetings and introduction. You only one chance to make a good impression, to make a good first impression. So always dress appropriately, smile, maintain good eye contact, a firm handshake, and remain poised and confident. Your body language. What signals are you sending? Positive signals. So when you lean forward, you're interested. When you're smiling, you're friendly. You're nodding, you're attentive, and you're alert. And eye contact, you're curious and focused. Negative signs that you want to avoid will be crossed arms. You never want to be in an interview and you have your arms crossed because that comes off as defensive. Fidgeting hands or tapping feet. Some people have fidgety hands. Try to put them in your lap or place them where you're not fidgeting or tapping because that signals that you're either nervous or bored. Lack of eye contact equals untrustworthy. So when you're speaking back to them, please give them eye contact. And leaning back equals discomfort. So you have types of interview questions. So you have your standard and you have your traditional questions. That will be your targeting your education, your work experiences, and your career goals. So a few examples are, tell me about yourself. Sometimes, 9 times out of 10, that's how the interview will start. So tell me about yourself. What is your greatest strength or weakness? Why did you choose to interview with us? What did you like most about your last job or the least? And what are your short and long-term career goals? Now, mind you, they will have other questions probably pertaining to the job that you have applied for, but these are just your standard and traditional questions. Then you have behavioral questions. These focus on your actions and or behaviors in a previous setting. Your past behaviors provide clues to future behaviors. So sample questions for that is, describe a time you had to make a difficult decision. Tell me about a time you worked under a deadline. What do you do when a team member is not pulling his or her weight? Think about a time you made a mistake. What did you learn from it? So you have your standard and traditional questions and your behavioral questions. Then you'll have questions pertaining to the actual job you applied for. Now you have inappropriate questions. Now these questions should not be asked during an interview. Questions would probe into your private life or personal background. Even when you apply to a job, usually at the bottom of the application, it says like, this job does not discriminate against ethnicity, religion, sexual orientation, disabilities. So these questions should not be asked during an interview. If these questions are asked during an interview, red flag. You might want to get out of there. However, once you got into the job, you got acquainted with your coworkers, it's okay. But during an interview, no, no, no. Sample questions. How old are you? In an interview, they should never ask you your age. Sometimes applications, I'm gonna give you, let's go down the roster. Let's say if we're applying to the fast food industry, that might be on the, I'm not sure, but back in my day, that question was almost already on the application because it asked you your birthday. I don't believe that they're there now. And 9 times out of 10, the only person will know will probably HR. Do you have any children? That should not be asked during the interview. Do you have a disability? That should not be asked in an interview. What religion do you practice? Should not. Even if you show up in a habasha, that should not be asked in an interview. Red flag. You might want to get up off the seat and leave because that is not the environment that you probably feel comfortable in. Now, when you're in an interview, always have at least 2 to 4, maybe 3 to 4 questions to ask the interview. This will determine if you are an appropriate fit for the company and position. So you prepare a list of questions for the interviewer, meaning you have already, remember in the past slides, you've already researched the company, your position, and the industry. So you'll come prepared with questions of your own, because after they finish asking you questions, they will always turn the table back on you. If you reply, I have no questions, you will automatically, you may 9 times out of 10 seem disinterested in the position because you did not come prepared. So sample questions would be, what type of assignments can I expect within the first year? What do you like most about this company? What is the biggest challenge facing this department right now? What skills are you looking for in this position? And what is the next course of action? This seems like you're interested, eager to learn more about the position, the company, and the culture. So general interview strategies. Be prepared to talk about yourself and your experience. Master the art of storytelling. Provide specific and concrete examples of your results and your accomplishments. So you don't, if, for example, if you say, oh, I gave the company a 10% increase last year. And what? Go into detail. Provide them more detail on what do you mean? Like, or if you if you're in sales and you provided something higher from last year's sales, go into more specific details. If you have just graduated, go into more specific details. You can say your GPA. You can you can actually compare some of the classes that you took that actually correlates with the job description. You can also speak about the college that you came from and your experience there. Always remain positive, enthusiastic, poised, confident throughout the interview process. Remember, an interview is a formal conversation. Avoid filler words like and you know. Sometimes we notice, sometimes we do not notice how many times we say um. That's why it's always good to practice. At the first slide I said, it's like riding a bike. Practice makes perfect. Avoid indecisive phrases like, I think, I guess, probably, or pretty good. Remember, be confident, be poised, be enthusiastic. Think before speaking. Avoid long verbose answers. Limit your response to 1 to 2 minutes. If you do not hear or understand a question, ask them to repeat or clarify it for you. Remain calm, relaxed, and be yourself. Try to focus on the message you are trying to convey, not how well you are doing. Dressing for success for the men. So for interview, my men out there, please, suit, single or double-breasted. Polished shoes, solid white shirt, conservative tie, neatly groomed hair, beard, and mustache, and avoid strong colognes, earrings, and body piercing. To my women, pant or skirt suit, pumps with small to medium heels, light makeup, light perfume, and light jewelry. Sometimes they will say women to have on earrings and it'd be no bigger than a quarter. So if you can put a quarter to your earring and your earring is bigger than a quarter, avoid it. Avoid hoop earrings. Me, myself, I go with pearls. You can't go wrong with a pair of pearls, ladies. And then wear neutral color hosiery. So I know that in this generation, a lot of people have avoided hosiery. However, if you're wearing a skirt suit to an interview, it will be proper to wear hosiery and to wear a neutral color. And then you have the follow-up. This is when the interview is ending, so you're following up. So you're going to ask good questions. Remember, prepare at least 2 to 4, but I say 3 to 4. Because sometimes when the tables are turned, they're relaxed, they're ready to answer your questions. It can actually shift the energy. It can become still professional, but it might even relax you even more because you might have been intense the whole time answering the questions. Now you're asking the questions. So remember to always ask good questions. Thank the interviewer. Always thank the interviewer. If it's a panel, thank around the room. If it's on a phone call, thank them for the call. If it's a meal, thank them with the meal. Request a business card. So a lot of times when we want to, I'm going to the next slide on that, always ask for a business card. 9 times out of 10, they might have it already on them in their pocket and prepared. Hey, you might even have a business card yourself that you can give them. And inquire about next steps in the process. If you're eager and you really want this job, it's okay to ask. So what will be the next steps in the process? Ask professionally and ask with confidence. So a follow-up continued. Send a thank you note within 24 hours. A letter may be handwritten or typed, but an email is always acceptable. And tailor each one to the individual. So if there is a panel member, to tailor each one to the individual people. So the final thoughts, remember that only 15% of the success of an interview is out of your control. It's absolutely nothing you can do about it. But take some time to reflect. Overall, how well did I do? What went well? What steps can I take next time to improve? So some suggestions would be, conduct a test run the day before the interview. Practice, practice, practice. Refer to a list of practice interview questions and jot down short answers. All over the web, you can find interview questions. You can even Google the position that you're looking for. And I believe some suggestions of some websites would be like Glassdoor, where people have said they went to an interview for the same position. They talked about some of the questions, and they even sometimes talk about the culture of the organization. Stand in front of a mirror and rehearse your answers. It's okay, y'all, to practice. It's okay to prepare. Be confident. And sometimes our confidence comes with that one-on-one person in the mirror and us interacting with ourselves, making sure we're talking, we're smiling, good eye contact, and just overall just confidence in our whole entire body language, position, everything. Schedule an appointment for a mock interview with Career Service or Trio. Get a good night's sleep and be well rested and alert for the interview. Of course, everyone's nervous. Remember, that's human nature. But don't stay up all night on TikTok. Don't stay up all night strolling on your phone. Get a good night's sleep. Eat a great breakfast. Be well rested and alert and prepared. Remain relaxed, and remember, y'all, just be yourself. That's the best person you can always be. So congratulations, y'all. You have completed the interviewing skills workshop. Any questions?
Well, until we get to some questions, I'll say, great job, Ms. Porch. All of those were valid points, and
Thank you.
expressed very well. A lot of the things that I was going to kind of interject were already there. But I will highlight a couple of things until we do get some questions, and then I'll share a video to hopefully illustrate somewhat of some of what Ms. Porch shared. One thing, I know she mentioned Glassdoor, but you can also use YouTube. She did share some popular interview questions, which depending on the institution, will determine what interview questions can be asked. But there are some questions like the one she referenced, or one of the ones she referenced. Tell me about yourself. Weaknesses and strengths. What are your weaknesses? What are your strengths? These questions are kind of universal and really have a good probability of being included in the interview that you're going in. I would also say for those of you, being that you're college students and you do go into a interview and you are you asked to tell about yourself, that's the opportunity when you don't have a lot of professional experience, so you start off with your education, right? You start off with your education and then you move into your work experience if you have any. If you don't have work experience, just focus on your education. Okay. And I that's something that I shared with past students. Being that, going in, like you say, you don't have that extensive work history. Okay. Another thing is make sure you research the institution. Ms. Port said this. I'm just highlighting. Research the institution. We still have, people who come in and interview, and sometimes it just surprised me how often people don't research the institution, which we're a program. They don't research the program. Really, so it's kind of hard to overlook that, in a sense, to where all the information is right there online, where you can go and research the institution, research the program, research the position, and those type of things. And there was some other things I wanted to share too, but yeah. So if there are no questions yet, and Ms. Zalakoffer, if you have anything you want to add, oh, you got a question? Who's that?
Quenisha, did you have a question? Maybe she's just unmuted. We got a little bit of feedback.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, and another thing, and we're going to cut to the video here in a second. But like I say, Ms. Port, you pretty much covered the gambit in terms of the do's, the don'ts, things about preparation. So I'm going to go to the video to and you will see some of the things that she spoke about in this short video. It's only about 6 or 7 minutes long, but you will get to see an illustration of some of the things she talked about. Okay. Mrs. Alakoffer, did you have anything you wanted to add before I cut to the video?
No, awesome job. Awesome job.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, we're gonna cut over here. Let's see. 1 second. Okay. Okay, can y'all see that?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm late. I'm really sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Miss Faulkner, and I'll be interviewing you today. Do you have your resume?
Oh, yeah. Right here. Yeah.
Oh, is it this? That's
Yeah.
okay. Thank you very much.
It's on the back of the application thing or whatever it is.
Very convenient. Thank you. Okay, the interview is very standard. It's just 3 simple questions. If you have any questions about how I'm wording or something like that, then you can just interrupt me. Feel free.
Yeah, all right, yeah. My first question, how much do I get paid?
Well, we start usually off at $9 an hour. It's not me.
Oh, sorry about that. Where is it? Come on, little peekaboo. Oh, oh, it's Christine. Hi, Christine. How you doing? Yeah, I know you left early last night, didn't you? Yeah, but it was a good time. Yeah, actually, I'm at an interview right now. Yeah, you should see what the girls are doing. Actually, I'll take a picture of it and send it to you later, okay? Yeah, like it's bad, giving me a headache. Anyways, okay, yeah. All right, talk to me later about tonight, okay? Yeah, all right, love ya. Bye.
Do you mind if we go on?
No, that's fine.
Would you be able to tell me about a time when you worked on a team?
Team. You know, if you rearrange those letters, it spells me. Me. I'm number one. No, well, a team, I guess. Cheerleading. Ooh! Yeah, it was good.
Can you think of any examples when you went above and beyond what was expected of you?
Every day. Every day I go above and beyond what's expected of me. Like, I'm just that good. Like, I'm not trying to sell myself or anything, but, like, I really am, like, the whole deal. Like, everything you could ever want is me.
Okay.
Me!
But no specific examples?
Well, no, not really.
Okay.
Just get to know me. Although I don't really know if we really be that cool around my friends. But I can kind of keep you, like, on the down low.
We can just go on. Would you like to tell me about a time when you worked on a project from start to finish? What was the goal? How did you achieve it?
Start to finish. Well, there was that one time that I went to the mall and told myself, I said, Melissa, you're not going to leave until you find D&G shoes, Louis Vuitton, or anything, like a purse. And you know what? I didn't leave until I got them. I mean, the security guard told me to leave because it was a little bit late, but that's all right.
Right.
I've done worse things than stay out late in the mall.
Well,
worse things. Oh, I guess I probably shouldn't say that. Okay.
Well, that's absolutely perfect. We're going to be making our decision in the next couple of days. So you'll get a phone
Great.
call.
Yeah. All right. I'm almost
It
late.
was a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. Hi.
Hello.
I'm Miss Waldman. I'll be interviewing you today.
Hi, I'm Sweeney Todd.
Do you have your resume with you?
Here.
Thank you very much. You can take a seat.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, this is all in order. The interview itself is very standard, 3 simple questions. If you're not sure what I'm asking, just stop and ask me or rephrase, interrupt me, it's fine.
Sure.
Okay, so would you be able to tell me about a time when you worked on a team?
Well, actually, my previous job, I was working at another call center, so the team that I was on was a specific campaign where we had to market and actually sell certain products. So we were divided up into 2 teams within the team, so we each had goals on whether or not we were selling things or whether or not we had to come up with new marketing campaigns. So basically, it was one big group effort in the team to make sure we had the right stats and standings, things like that.
Okay, that's great. All right. Could you tell me about a time when you went above and beyond what was expected of you?
Well, this semester I was taking a number of courses, but one of them was chemistry, and my teacher and I decided that I wasn't being challenged enough in the course that I was in, so we basically worked out a schedule where I could do an independent study of chemistry AP, which is basically the advanced. So, the normal curriculum wasn't just reaching where the teacher thought that I needed to be in my learning, so we basically went above what I needed to learn for that year and got a good head start on university.
Great, okay. And would you just please tell me about a time when you worked on a project from start to finish? What was the initial goal? How did you achieve it?
Well, this fall actually as well, we did the variety show at our high school, and I was a producer. So I was in charge of making sure that everything was all lined up, as in the auditions, the actual practices, making sure that everyone was on goal, making sure that all the different committees were, on topic, and made sure that everything got done on time in order to make sure that we had it ready. So it worked out really well. Everyone stayed on task and made sure that they got their portion of the job done.
Okay, well, thank you very much for all of the information. It's been very helpful. Do you yourself have any questions for us?
Actually, yes, I was just wondering, when do I expect like a callback, or when do I expect to hear from you on when the job position might be starting?
Well, we're going to be making our callbacks for a second interview in a couple of days, and then after that, we should be hoping to have hired at least one person within the week.
Okay, perfect. So I'll wait for the call.
Yeah. Thank you very much for coming out.
Thank you.
Okay, so we saw some, we saw some significant differences in those two interviews, did we not? If we can, I would like for some of the participants to point out some of the differences that you saw. So let's focus on the first young lady. What were some of the things that she did that probably weren't favorable for her getting that job?
She was slouching.
She was slouching. What else? You got to put your microphone on, Ms. Port.
A participant in the chat said, Anaya Cherry said came in late.
Came in
Philip
late.
said she spoke on the phone to a friend. Good.
Up on the phone to a friend. She threw a table on the threw a bag on the table.
Mhm. She
She
kicked her feet up like she was at a home.
That-
Miracle. Thank you, Miracle.
That's right. And she was chewing gum. Did you see that? She was.
Her body language was giving nervous. It was giving nervous.
Yeah. She was a little bit too relaxed, kind of, to me, you know what I mean? You know, looking at it. But what the first, one other thing she did, that's a no-no. You don't, first question she asked, first of all, was out of place. Second of all, it was about pay. So let me give you a tip. Don't ever ask about pay on the first interview, okay? Don't ever do that. And she wasn't dressed appropriately, okay? So there's a lot of things we could pick up from that one, you know, that one interview. She was really talking to the interviewer like she was one of her friends or something, and basically being very, you know, just she didn't shake her hand. That was disrespectful, you know. And typically, when you are being interviewed, you want to walk in, you're the one that's extending your hand, you know, as to you know, to shake hands and things like that. So now we go to the next young man, basically just the opposite, right? He was dressed appropriately. He was focused on, you know, job, the specific conversation, like, you know, she answering the phone and talking about last night. That's not what you do. So he was time on task. And then this brings me to another highlight. That's right, copies of the resume. He gave proper eye contact. That's right. That's right. So these things are important when, you know, you have a small amount of time to make a big impression, like Ms. Port said, a good first impression. You know, you only have one chance to do that. And so yeah. So you know, stark differences in that video, and all supported by the information Ms. Port shared. And I will highlight this one other thing too. Add this to the list, which is go in with 2 or 3 stories, right? I know Ms. Porch mentioned stories, but have you 2 or 3 stories along the lines of, okay, when did you face a challenge and you worked through it? When, you know, when did you work with a team? And also something like the challenge and the team are 2 big ones. I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. I can't think of another one right now. But always have 2 or 3 stories. Always research the institution. All of the things Ms. Porch just shared with the, you know, studying for having, you know, study interview questions and practicing is a big deal, believe it or not. I mean, I do it. I did it. You know what I'm saying? I still do it. Because if you, I give you this challenge. If you ask yourself, act like somebody asks you, tell me about yourself. Then go in your mirror and do that. and see how it comes out. So
Right.
it's not going to come out the way you think it's going to come out. And so you have to practice. And like I say, in that answer, you have to focus on your education
Mm-hmm.
and your work history. So when you do that, it's not going to come out the way you initially think it's going to come. You have to practice that. And interviewing skills is a what? Is a skill. And skills have to be practiced. And so I mean, this was awesome, right? This was some great information. This is one of my favorite ones to cover anyway. I always like to do these. Does anybody have any questions or any additional information that they want to share? Ms. Porch, you have any additional comments or information, Ms. Zolikoff, or any of the participants? What did you think about the what was shared today? Was
Or
it
do you think it will be helpful
be helpful? Okay.
in your future going forward?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I think I got, let me see, I see LaShawna Peterson now. Because I tried to keep the attendance.
I got the attendance.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
Hey, LaShonda.
Hey, LaShawna.
Hello.
Crystal. Hey, Crystal. I don't think I spoke to you either. And Mr. Powers, I think we spoke on chat. But guys, Miss Zolikoff, if if all hearts and minds are clear, we'll get ready to log off. Hopefully this was a helpful session for you guys today. Some of you will be applying for jobs soon enough.
Right.
And
they be having like interviews when I drive throughout Roanoke Rapids, some on the spot interviews for like Monday or Tuesday, and they'll say a time frame. To me, that's almost competitive.
Yeah.
So come prepared. If y'all even want to come with us, come see us if you need us to give you a mock interview. I know my door is open. I'm sure Mr. Hardy's is, so is Ms. Zolikoff's. Our door is always open to practice with you. Practice makes perfect, guys. Never walk into something saying, I got this.
Right.
I'm sure you do, and I know you do, but practice always makes perfect.
Yes, this is something I've done several times in my office when I was an advisor. Several times, students say, hey, come in and we had these conversations and we'll do a mock interview and I share with them what, the same information Ms. Porch should share with you. And that's what we're here for. Okay. That's what we're here for. We're the intercession or the intercessory, or I might have made a word up right there, but we're the people in between you where you are and you where you're trying to go. Okay. And we're here to help and trying to guide you in the right direction. So if all hearts and minds are clear, I want to thank you all for participating, for coming today. Thank you all for showing such interest. I know Anaya and Miss Britt came by the office today. They want to make sure they had the codes so they could attend, and that's great. This is great. It's in terms of the attendance and the interest and the participation. So you guys, thank you all. Have a great day. Hope this helped. Oh, you have one more thing? Okay.
I will be sending out a survey for y'all to complete for this workshop within the next 5 to 10 minutes to your email. So if you can please do the survey for me, I greatly appreciate it. Surveys are good.
Yes, they help us a lot.
Yes.
We appreciate it. Guys, have a great afternoon. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time. Oh, one last thing.
Yes.
April the 19th, our luncheon. Spread the word. If you know participants who if you know they're a participant in SSS, please let them know. Come. We have food. We're celebrating your achievements, academic achievements, because of that you're a participant with SSS. So we're highlighting it on our own terms. It's going to be the same day, I believe, as the awards day for the institution. So it's gonna be like an hour later or 2 hours. I think that's maybe starting at 11. Don't quote me on this stuff. I just know that we wanted to have about an hour in between about what they're looking at the end. So normally we like to try to do it at 12, and that's because of the early college, because I want them to not be left by the bus. But we will try to go ahead and get right into it. That's going to be the part of the plan. So if you do have to leave, that you won't miss anything. Okay. So yeah, please come. Please bring your families. All right. We're gonna have a nice meal. I think a decent meal in you know, in my mind. And you know, nice decorations, nice atmosphere. We just want to do what we can, a little what we can to celebrate you. Okay. And you will be receiving certificates that day of participation. Those of you who are graduating and maybe transferring of achievement. So, you know, please, 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 if you can make it, bring your parents out. You know, let us tell them all the good things that, you know, you've done this, you know, we've done this year, and get ready for the next one. Okay. And if you are graduating and if you have not given us or sent us the information that where you're going to transfer to or where you have been accepted to, please do that. Okay. As well. All right. All right. Thank you guys. Have a great afternoon.
You too.
Thank you.